Do you want to build a herb garden, but you lack the space in your small garden? You came to the right place, because in this video I'll show you how to build a herb garden out of pellets that will function as a vertical herb wall. This will be a simple DIY project that you can do at home almost for free. You will learn what pellets can be dangerous for your health and how to avoid them. You will see how I make two drainage systems for my herb garden. I will teach you how you can make your pellet to be stable, upright, like a garden wall. You will see how beautiful all looks, occupying only 4 square foot in my small garden. And if you follow me until the end, you will learn how to minimize the drawbacks of having your plants in such small containers. If you like this kind of content and want to watch more of it, please let me know by leaving a like. And if you aren't already subscribed, please do it now so you won't miss any gardening content from me. So without further ado, let's jump into the main content. Why would you build a herb garden out of pellets? Because it's simple and it only takes 4 square feet of space in your garden. This pellet herb wall is ideal for everyone like me with a small garden that doesn't have much space to spare, for their herbs or flowers. Because yes, you can also plant flowers in the same fashion. All you will need is one pellet, some scrap pellet boards, some nails, some garden cloth or fleece or cardboard. You will see later what is the difference. Some wood chips, and of course your favorite herbs or flowers. In my case, basil for my tomato sauces and salads, chive for my egg omelets, and some coriander for my typical Slovenian soup, goveja župca. Start the assembly by placing the pellet upright and nailing the scrap pellet boards to the pellet. Here be careful to leave a small gap between the board and the pellet for your drainage. You do know that some pellets contain dangerous chemicals? To avoid them, use only pellets that have been heat treated. You can spot them by this HT marking on them. Preferably the pellets would have been used in food industries, so that they weren't contaminated in storage. Or use some prevention that I will mention in a minute or two. So by nailing the boards to your pellet like I did, you will create some kind of wooden pot with a drainage gap like you see here, where you can plant your herbs or flowers. I would recommend that the drainage hole is at the back of your pellet, so all the excess water can escape from it and it won't pool in your wooden pot, rotting your pellet even faster. After that, you can go in 2 ways. One way is to line your pellet holes with some garden cloth or fleece cloth. To do that, simply cut a small piece that will be slightly larger than the hole you want to line and nail it in place or use a stapler. I use some nails because I have them on hand, but you can use whatever you want. Here you can take your time to make it all look nicer and neat. As you can see, folding your edges will look nicer and more professional. And if you are nailing or stapling the cloth in place, make sure that the corner nail will be always in the limits of the hole, so you'll be able to fold your edges nicely. Not like what I did here, but hey, it was my first attempt, and luckily I learned fast and I corrected right away. So leave a like if you also always mess the first time you make something. One beneficial impact of the fleece is that it's thick and can absorb moisture so that the soil can be wet for longer. Otherwise, it can dry quickly in these small containers. But if you're using some non-safe pellets, make sure to line them with plastic so that the soil wouldn't get in contact with the pellet. And be sure to make some drainage holes in the plastic liner so the water can escape. Once all the holes are covered, you can transport your pellet to the final location. It's best to do it now, before it's all filled with soil and plants. But before that, stick some wood poles into the ground that will serve as a leaning place for your pellets if you don't have any walls or fences on which you can lean them on. In this way your pallet will take only 4 square feet of space in your garden, and you will maximize what you can grow by growing vertically. Once in place, your pallet herb wall can be filled with your soil and plants. Here make sure to use good compost or potting soil that will retain moisture. I used some sifted compost that I had laying around and placed my plants by inspiration. Start by putting just a little bit of soil. A good inch will be sufficient, and then place your herbs or flowers in the planting holes. If you don't have fleece or garden cloth absorbing excess moisture, you can place some wood chips at the bottom that will absorb moisture and releasing it when necessary. And to prevent the wood chip from falling between the drainage cracks, use some cardboard. And you don't need to put that much wood chips at the bottom, just half an inch or maybe an inch. When your plants are in place, fill your pallet with some potting soil or compost to the top. Tap it down gently and place a thin layer of wood chips at the top that will reduce evaporation. All this to make sure to minimize the drawbacks of having a small planting container. The compost will provide a nutrient-rich environment for your plants, and fleece and wood chips will provide for the water retention needed, so you wouldn't need to water your plants every day. So for those of you who stuck to the end and want to see how I made this beautiful small garden, you can check my short 4-minute time-lapse of me building this raised bed garden. Just click on the video that pops on the screen. If you enjoyed in this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more gardening tips and tricks from me. Happy gardening!